Tato katoa. Good evening. In breaking news tonight, emergency services are struggling to keep up with rescues in West Auckland after an afternoon of relentless rain. People are trapped on roofs, in cars, and the New Zealand Defence Force is helping with evacuations.
The rain has fallen heavily since 10 o'clock last night and is expected to continue for another day. Every fire truck in the city is responding to calls, and people have been asked not to ring 111 unless there's a threat to life. Zane Small reports.
Flooding is so severe in the West Auckland suburb of Swanson that emergency services have been stopped in their tracks. Amarita Andrew Pinder, who have a young baby, only purchased this nearby property a year ago.
My house is gone. Our house is... I can't even talk.
They say the flooding happened rapidly.
My husband got stuck as well, so he had to get rescued because there was no access to get out. So once you're in this property, you can't get out.
Yeah, I had to jump out of the window
Yes.
and get out of the neighbour's house.
Elaine's house is flooded too.
The water's come up halfway over everything. The couch was floating, the fridge was floating. We've lost everything.
These pictures show a man checking on vehicles as water flows rapidly across the Oratia Bridge. The water is waist deep in parts of Henderson, prompting fire brigades to help evacuate some of the most vulnerable. Fire crews are responding to over 400 emergency calls in Auckland due to the weather. West Auckland has been inundated with rain, as you can see here on Universal Drive in Henderson. This video was sent in showing major flooding in Waimoku. You can see how the trampoline is almost submerged. Our crews filmed this on Anzac Valley Road, and here a horse jump is seen floating away from Henderson Valley Pony Club. This Met Service map shows how a heavy front has moved across the North Island, bringing all the wet and windy weather with it.
We're seeing a continuation of what we have kind of seen so far this year. Low pressure system coming down from the Tasman Sea, bringing in a lot of really warm and humid air that is bringing about that potential for some really heavy rain, some downpours in the mix as well.
The downpour has been relentless in Auckland since 10 p.m. last night. The most has fallen here in Whenuapai, around 71 millimetres of rain, and 30 to 50 millimetres could fall across the city in the next 24 hours. That was this afternoon. Since then, 60 millimetres of rain has been recorded in an hour at an Auckland Council weather station. Surface flooding is seen here on Tamaki Drive, where giant waves have been crashing ashore. But it's not just in Auckland.
We have seen some downpours through Northland today. Kaikohe recorded 30 millimetres of rain in a single hour. We're seeing heavy rain through Auckland. That flooding risk extends down into parts of Waikato, into Coromandel, also into parts of the Bay of Plenty throughout the rest of today and into Saturday.
Fire and Emergency is urging people to stay off the roads except for essential travel. Zane Small, Newshub.
But we're going to go now live to Alice Wilkins, who is in Henderson. Alice, describe the scene for us where you are. What's it like?
Yes, Sam, we are on Meadowcroft Way, a tiny road that comes off one of the main roads, the Universal Drive, that travels through West Auckland as people try and make their way home tonight. This little stretch of road has been hit the worst. People have been wading out of here, water up to their shoulders, flood water through their homes, carrying each other, assisting people who need help out, carrying pets. We've seen dogs pulled out, pot plants floating along the waterline, rubbish bins floating, cars almost completely submerged in the floodwaters. One of the cars here still has its window wipers on, suggesting that people had tried to drive out but just couldn't beat those rising floodwaters and had to abandon their vehicle. We've been here for about an hour watching people brought to safety by those who've raced in to help. Now fire and emergency services have arrived. They're going door to door, checking that everyone is okay and has made their way out of their homes to safety, but they do have extra rescue equipment with them.
OK, Alice, thank you, and we will go back to you later on in the program.